Okay, glue gun's all good to go. So let's tuck this guy up in here. Okay, took a bit of doing, but I think we've got that tacked in place. So we can come in behind and do a little DevCon. Okay guys, we've got the bodywork pretty much established on this side. There's still more work to do here. But I didn't want to do too much here because we don't know yet if we need to build a motor cover or do any kind of fancy bodywork on this side. So I think no time like the present to look at fitting some internals and just making sure that that kind of thing is all taken care of before we move on with too much of the finished bodywork and then risk damaging the bodywork while we're trying to cut and add and trim things. So going to go ahead and pull screws out. This guy up. Put it over there. See what we're dealing with here. So we have the stock cage, etc. There's been a lot of weird things going on in here since the start of this project, and I know we're gonna have to trim some stuff out. So let's oh, and we still have to build another motor mount. Wonder where that piece went that we cut off. Might have to just build something. I think it's just a standard thread. No, it's kind of a goofy screw. So we may have to dig something out of the parts bin or something if I can't find that piece. But we do need a fourth motor mount. And this guy here needs to be rigidified. He's not attached to anything. So we know, let's see, we know we're running Hellcats. So we know we have to cut through the strife shell at least. Up here we already cut away the strife shell in order to incorporate the Centurion part as well as other things. So let's, let's focus on doing just making sure this thing fits, because I don't know what the tolerances are as far as the way it's actually a little snugger here. It seems to come up a little higher. And wow, right away it's already interfering with the top there. That's not looking good. What the heck is this? Let's get an idea of the difference here. It looks like it should fit. It looks like it might be a hair bigger, but looks like it might be a hair taller, but not enough to cause issues. It's this guy. Let's get those screws out of there. And there we go. Okay. So, okay, it's way close up there. In fact, wow, I think it's actually just the thickness of the DevCon there that's causing some problems. Ooh, we may have to... okay. First thought, if we need to go any higher, there's only the thickness of the shell. I mean, we don't have any other cool stuff that we added. But what we could do if we needed to is... we can add some material on top, even just a flat piece. If we just need a little bit of room, we could add just a piece of shell or some kind of thickness like that on top, glue it down, and then grind off the Centurion bits underneath. If we need to, and that hopefully would give us enough clearance. But My other concern is about the flywheels. Do the flywheels stick out above the top of the cage? I hope not. That would be a bummer. I'm just going to put this in here and just use that to kind of center it a little bit. Dunk. And, it does look like the flywheels will stick out just a hair, but they'll be sticking up just in the middle, so hopefully we could get away with just like cutting out this stuff here and maybe just affecting just the rail. That's a bummer. Guess I should have had some of these parts fitted before we started doing all the critical body work. So, okay. That goes there. Everything's cool across the bottom because we didn't modify anything. But that's right where the issue starts. So I guess we can just start kind of... It might be a situation where the tolerances are so tight that any friction makes it look and feel like more than it is. So I'm hoping that maybe it's just the added material of the DevCon here from the joint is causing the issues. So I'll try to knock some of that out. Oh, that's... Oh, good. That's that was a lot closer of a call than I was really wanting to deal with. Excuse me. But it does seem to drop in most of the way without causing problems. So we drop in there. And it wants to go further, but hey. Okay, we got Centurion bits in the way. Can we just whittle those out? Nah, that's pretty thick stuff. Where's my biters? One of those relatively few times when the inside of the joint on an integration is really an issue. Fortunately, like a lot of this, we can get away with it being kind of ugly or, you know, not really caring how it fits. But apparently here's one of those spots where it needs to be nice, it needs to be perfect, it needs to... We can't get away with the rough edges this time. Okay. Don't use tools improperly or they'll break down on you. Okay, Dremel time. Okay, somebody somewhere isn't playing along, and I don't know why. Both of these motor mounts haven't moved. They're not in a spot like this one that they can wiggle around, or, you know, wasn't around an area that was manipulated at all. So, why? It'd be embarrassing if I was putting this backwards or something. Can't go that way. Sure looks like it wants to go that way. Okay, why does it want to go in now with no problems? Is this guy good too? Who knows? But it seems to mount in there fine. Looks like it's super, super snug. I might go ahead and eat a little more of that off, but let's double check our wheels. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to eliminate this little pocket where the tab thing is. So the connector point, which is okay since we're using 3D printed clamp-on style sights. I think we'll eliminate that little area altogether so it doesn't cause us any grief. Okay, now it just drops in like it wants to be there. Nice. Okay. The heck? We're gonna have any issues on the other side though. And it looks like the answer is yeah. There's can I get it around there? I don't know if you can see. Anyway, we got some stuff going on in there. All of this. So we can kind of get an idea of where things are at, because this has to be here in this area. So looks like, well, we probably still ought to cut this out. There's nothing on the cage itself to get in the way, but there is going to be the flywheel there that should be causing issues. But looks like the bottom's good. This Gava DevCon is pretty close, but it shouldn't be an issue. But it looks like pretty much everything in this area needs to be ground down a ways just to give us clearance for the flywheels and everything else. So I guess I'm just going to take the level of the stripe here of the shell and just take it straight up and just cut this down just about 1/8 of an inch or so, it looks like. Size them up there, and well, technically it's going to be there and there. Looks like there's plenty of room for everybody. So technically, we should be able to set that guy there and close this guy around it. And it looks like everybody's pretty happy in there. Okay, well, I feel better. I think what we're going to do is I think I'm going to mount the motors, or mount the flywheel cage down on all 3 spots that we have, then put some DevCon around this kind of floating joint, or not joint, stud motor mount, because it kind of moves around a little bit like that, and we don't want it to. I'll anchor it down, put some DevCon around it. That way we can locate the 4th motor mount, and I think I'll stick it in, screw it in, then install everything else, or put a big DevCon in the bottom, set it in there, screw down the other 3, so that should locate the 4th one, relative to everybody else. Then once it's cured, we can pull it out, clean up our mess, and then see what we're going to have to do about making room for Hellcats. Because right now, well, these may be a bit longer than I expected. Well, we'll see. Okay, that's cured up, and I happen to find the missing motor mount stud boss. So, screw boss that is. That's pretty rigged. Okay, initial impressions here. There's two little support deals that stick off the bottom of this. They're just kind of ridges or ribs to give a little more body and support when it's mounted. They're interfering, actually the whole darn thing is interfering with this little bit here, this orange deal. It was the original top of the barrel on the Centurion. So I think we'll go in there and see if we can just cut it out, since it's really serves no purpose since it's all covered up anyway. Okay, got him sunk down there. Okay, everything's cured up. We just pulled the cage out. Everything's held in place pretty good. Just coming back with some more DevCon to add to the inside of these two top motor mounts where we couldn't get to it with the cage in the way. And I think we'll add a little bit to the front of where the strife shell ends and the Centurion shell is up here, just to add a little stability for this kind of front piece here, and just for more contact area. We'll warp a little bit more around in there while we're at it. Just for the heck of it, we'll set that back on there, just to ensure that everybody stays put while we're curing. That locks in nice and solid, and I like that. Okay, once that's cured, I think we can start looking at boring holes in the back to make room for the motors.